There is a monk present now amongst us, please. Can you give us some...
Bigotry, execution and a royal romance all await you in the next hour. Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. This week I brought you to Blackpool in Lancashire. This may be one of Great Britain's most recognisable coastlines, but our investigation is centred on this beautiful manor house 6 miles inland. Its white, almost angelic walls may purport to an austere home, but as we're about to find out, this house has blood on its hands. That's why we've come to investigate Mains Hall. Settlers first claimed this as their land in the 11th century, and although a hall first stood near here in 1236, the exact date of Mains Hall's construction can't be confirmed. This, the Great Hall, is a decade-old reproduction of the original that stood here until 1853, but unfortunately its only hint of activity nowadays is in hosting weddings. And until a fire in December 2002, Mains Hall itself acted as a hotel. The building is now used solely by its owners, their children, and of course the plethora of ghosts that are said to roam their beautiful home. Yet despite our stunning surroundings, we are in the midst of a mixture of emotions, those of love, faith, betrayal and murder.
Mains Hall near Blackpool, an exciting place. Before I even start, I'm getting extremely enthusiastic about the place. It certainly goes back to the 1500s. There's a possibility it may be on foundations from the 12th century. Priest holes, hanging drawing and quarterings, who knows what went on here in this building. It's played quite a significant part in 2 of the Jacobite risings, 1715 and 1745.
The main bedroom is host to a number of paranormal happenings. The ghost of a tall lady has been seen walking around the bed. Also, the latch on the door rattles as if someone's trying to get in. And the indentation of somebody sitting on the bed has been seen many times. Also, a playful poltergeist takes objects from this room and they reappear in another part of the house. And also, male and female voices have been heard in this room when no one is around.
We've had many paranormal experiences here. When we were a hotel, we often had guests coming to us and telling us the same sort of stories over a period of about 10 years.
We've heard of children sitting at the end of a bed in one room, and then the same story being told a couple of years later by a totally different guest. When I first bought the place, we had a problem with the gas boiler in the kitchen, and I got the engineer to come and have a look at it, and he was telling me that the place was haunted, and he used to come to meetings in the old cocktail bar, and they all used to see a cavalier at the same time, and I just dismissed it as being a bit of a story. He also said that there was activity on the stairs, which I didn't really believe, but his leaving remark was, have you ever been able to get a clock working in the bar? And since I moved in, I'd been trying for weeks to get this particular brass clock to work and never been able to do it.
Some super ghost stories. For many years it was known as the Monks' Hall, and there were supposedly monks here, stories of monks being murdered here. There's a door that certainly goes back to the 14th century that is supposed to be covered in the blood of monks. There is on their land an area of woodland supposedly monks buried beneath these trees. Apparently many people in the vicinity of this place have seen dark figures wandering around the trees at night.
Room 10 is currently under renovation but has a fearsome reputation. Many people who spend time in here become depressed and the door slams shut for no apparent reason. The figure of a large man has also been seen in this room.
Very often people talk about children trying to take hold of their hands when they're walking in various parts of the house as well. There's been cavaliers seen in what used to be the bar area. There have been shapes on the staircases. We have things moved, monks in the grounds. There are so many things that are seen here. We could just talk about it all day.
Here in the entrance hall, the ghost of a man has been seen sitting on this settle. Also, children have been seen in this area and walking through this door into the back corridor where a nursery used to be. It's also said that several monks were killed in this area. Could it be their dark shadows that have been seen floating across this floor? Is this just an old house full of memories? We have 24 hours to find out. And with nearly every room within this Grade 2 listed building thought to have hosted supernatural activity, parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe is as keen as anyone to see what the night will hold. For me, this investigation is really quite extraordinary because there's so much phenomena that has been reported in so many different rooms, and really odd phenomena like clock stopping and being poked and touched, and I'm really excited about tonight.
I'm equally excited. You've got, like you say, you've got a whole gamut of experiences. You've got apparitions, you've got auditory phenomena, you've got objects being moved, but yeah, you've got some unusual things too. You've got doors opening, like you said, you've got the clock stopping. It's going to be a great evening. I think it's going to be a really good investigation.
Do you think because the family are refurbishing the whole house, that has an effect on the activity that's been reported?
Within parapsychology, there is this idea that if any refurbishment is going on or any change to the structure of an old building, that perhaps that affects the spirit in a way. Perhaps they get upset about the changes that are being done and they actually cause the activity as a result, almost trying to raise awareness that they're just not happy. Now, if there's any truth in that particular argument, then hopefully David or Gordon would pick up on that.
I think we're in for a really good night because of the amount of phenomena that has been reported here, and it happens on a very regular, frequent basis. And hopefully out of all the phenomena that's been reported here, even if we get one, that would be just amazing.
Yeah, all it takes is one where we have the footage of it, we've got an objective measure of it. It takes that one piece of evidence for people to actually sit up and go, wow, they've caught something. So that'd be great.
A small corner of this house may still stand bare, but will we find beauty elsewhere in this ancient abode? And with mediums David Wells and Gordon Smith ready and waiting to step inside, it was time to let this allegedly haunted home do its best.
Do you know, when I came in here, the oddest thing happened. It's almost like the room was full of people. I'm not talking about
The crew.
The crew. I'm talking, it's like there was everything in here, from children to women in different eras, and they just went when we came in here.
Right.
You know? It was like they went scurrying through different doors, and I mean everywhere, up, down, sideways.
And these are spirit children, or you're seeing the memory of
No, this was grounded. This was the maddest thing I've ever seen. It is like they went...
So there's lots of them then, grounded spirits?
I would say, yeah, there seems to be, yeah. As I walked in, it's almost like they were literally standing watching us come through that door, and when they saw us, they just all went one. Oddest thing, it's the first time.
Do you see any specific, any connections with this particular room, or any hauntings that go on here? Or
the only thing I've got here is there's one austere male, and I don't know, because sometimes we get this where they act like a guide around the house and they just follow us around and keep us safe and keep us right. But you know, he's a bit more than that. He's almost like someone who would welcome you into the house, but in a terribly professional manner. Either a former owner, perhaps, or a...
Can you see him?
I can see him, but it's one of these black shape jobs, and probably back about maybe 300 years ago. So he's not a recent.
But is he grounded here? Is he here all the time?
Yeah, he seems to be. The word I would use is he seems to be in charge.